And we are live. Peace, 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 and black power family. Welcome to another episode of Do Knowledge Radio. Place where knowledge is born. This is your host, Knowledge Born a Lot, and do not adjust your screen. This is not clickbait. This is not catfish. We really got royalty up in the building today. It's going down. She here to drop some jewels, drop some gems, share some stories, and she ain't cutting no corners with us today. You understand what I'm saying? So it becomes my honor and privilege at this time introduce some of the other our guests for today in the building. Peace and love to you, Queen. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling well. I'm feeling well. Wonderful, blessed, wealthy, healthy, and wise.
That's what's going on. What's going on. Welcome to the show. I know we had an extensive. We almost had a show within the show. You see what I'm saying? Before the show even got going on. So I'm definitely excited and honored to have you on the platform. So let's just take a moment for you to introduce yourself to the family, and then we can get into it.
Oh, yes, my name is Kween Shahinni. I'm a healer, central work, a caregiving business. I a hairstylist, a nutritionist, and a seer. I can help heal you and give you what you need. Um, Basically, I wanted to talk to them about resetting, restarting, and re up. Basically, that is during a pandemic, they choose to pump fear. And fear actually can be, depressing, and you fall into a, a slump where you think you can't come out. And it actually, what's going on is actually bringing you into oneself, into a family, a tribe. It's letting you reset so that you can rebuild. And not to pump fear into no one, but it's going to get worse before it gets better. And in doing that, we have to remember focus, unlearn to relearn, and making sure that you have your financial stability in place. Now, a lot of people may not agree with me on this, but I respect the fact that Trump and those who are in high places of power, that they push the button for us to, you know, uh, go forward in an expedient way where you can start a new business, open up a market, natural thing people need. Um, a lot of sisters like their hair done, so sell some hair, sell hair products. Uh, like Wadada is here in ATL. I'm in Atlanta, by the way. Hello, Atlanta folks. And in Atlanta, we have a store with Dada, which is on David Abernathy, and they sell products to help you heal. They have ginger shots and vegetables. You can buy a little mini market, and also they sell clothes. And it's about supporting one another, supporting each other during this economic pandemic that is trying to break us and trying to set us back, which is actually a set forward. Now, corona means to rise or heat. So we're corona rising. Um, and they knew that. They knew that at this time the planets were lining up for us because this is our time to start anew as a black family, as a black Wall Street, if you will. In 1920, there was a pandemic, and that's when a new set of black people became millionaires. And this is the same time again. We're at that same point again. They write out their agenda every 100 years. And it seems like we have no agenda as a collective to keep going forward and moving forward without joining Boule or the Illuminati. We have to have another source of communication. We got to figure that out as a whole. And um, in resetting your life with children, a husband, or if you're single, a single mother, a single father, or a guardian if you're single. It will be hard, but you have to set a goal, write it out, plan it, and move forward. Because the laws of attraction, the laws of greatness is on our side. No matter what it looks like, we're not going forward. And if we come together and set meeting places up for us to, start a militias, we gotta be ready for what's coming, mentally, spiritually, physically, and esoterically. In doing that, I would suggest you invest in stock, see what stocks is going up. And Amazon is a good one right now. It's I think a couple of thousand. We also have new health food markets, Sprouts, um, Apple. Apple is at 1,000 or more. Um, and like I said, selling essential products that people may need, you know, and making sure that you have enough food. The emergency pack is food, water, and a like alcohol, peroxide, um, everything you need in case you need to heal a wound, if someone gets shot or anything like that happens. This is serious time for serious minds. And we must come together quickly, ASAP, without no hesitation. Don't buy black. I don't believe in that. Don't buy black because they don't treat you right. No, I buy black all the time. This here is a sister who's out here in Atlanta, and she has a store in the West End, and I buy from them all the time because it's us. It's us, never them. So if we put in place a plan to make sure that we execute financially together, there's over what knowledge born over how many millions of people out of work? How many millions would you say?
Yeah, like the numbers be increasing every day. Last time I checked, it was like 150 million people out of work. At least that's
Right,
who was filing for unemployment. And that was
right.
early on in the pandemic.
That's right. And they're also pushing this vaccine. Now, COVID-19 means a certificate of vaccinations number 19. That's what that means. So their agenda is to, if they unemploy, that many millions of people. So if you want to come back to work at Walmart, so to say, a Target or a corporate business, you have to get vaccinated. And the thing is, what's the solution, one may ask? No consent. You cannot consent to no one getting vaccines in our home. Um, there's also a website that you can go to. I'll put it on in the comments for everyone to look at, and you can put it on your phone and answer these questions and your address and everything to say no, no, no to the questions that you're not sick, and they won't come to your home. Um, there's ways of getting around this. That mathematics is life and life is mathematics, and we got to do the
That's right.
math. Um, you know what I mean. So, therefore, if we're doing the math, there's a solution for every problem, right? So the solution is to not consent. Start your own business. Start a new way of life and hurry up. We don't have a lot of time. There's not a lot of time. And this is the time that millionaires and billionaires are created, like in 1920, when our people went through that pandemic. And yes, of course, they're targeting blacks, Hispanics, everyone but so-called whites. I don't consider myself black. I'm melanated and indigenous. So black to me is a color, and we're not a color. We are a people. We are a tribe, and we must change our mindset. Eating right, having a lot of greens, uh, herbs, making sure that we have our tea tree, our dandelion, our oregano oil, our, I mean, I can go on and on with that, and I'm sure everyone knows where I'm going with this. You have to flush out whatever they're putting in the air, whatever they're putting in the food. You have to flush it out. Even though we're buying greens and everything, they're doing something. But at least the greens and the vegetables and the fruits would be a better choice than a hot dog or meat. And I'm not against people who eat meat or anything, but those who have an underlying problem with their health, diabetes and things like that, once you change that, like Queen Afua pushes all the time, is the diet. It starts with the diet. Brother Dr. Layla Africa just passed, and may he find a great resting place with his ancestors. I mean, we we thank those who have left. Dr. Sabi, we are continuing his legacy, and we are his tribe. And we must change our diet in order to live a next 100 years to see our grandchildren, to see our great grandchildren. So, you know, we have to find different ways of living and making a living. And it will work. It will work. Downsizing. If you got a big home and you're paying too much overhead, downsize. Change is good. Change is excellent. And we must invite change in so that change will change us. I hope everyone is following us, and I hope we have people who agree, um, you know. And I'm just here to motivate and heal and make sure that the message gets out that you can heal yourself from, these underlying diseases that come from food, actually. You know, eating wrong brings about disease, dis-ease. And making sure you start your own business. Now is the time. They're damn near giving away loans to start for people to start new businesses. And those who have had businesses, they're giving loans to them as well. Um, I have a friend who lives in Canada. Now, Canada got it right. Canada, every week, they're giving away to their citizens $950 a week for 3 years. Imagine that. Imagine that. And, you know, Trump is giving away $1,200 for one time, and that's not even going to help. So we got to help ourselves, and each one has to help one another. We have to grab another hand and pick it on up and put them on up, pick them on up, pick us up so that we can move forward. It's not a time for division at all. It never was, but now at this time, it's not. So we have to, like I said, I'm into real estate, um, bitcoins, gold, and stock, which is going to help on the front end and the back end. I do essential work. I have a caregiving business. I take care of elderly people and deliver their food, their medication, whatever they need. And I'm here for them. So there's plenty of room for everybody to make an economic change quickly. We must do it quickly. There's no time to sit, stay in your house and sit, exercise and write down, do a vision board and make sure your visions come true. Have an altar. Go to your altar, burn a candle for those who have left, pour out libation, water, give thanks for the ancestors so that they may mount up and help us. And resetting, that's all about resetting, restarting, and re up. Is forcing us to do it, and which, like I said, I'm thankful for that change that has came to force us to go further, go further. You know,
So kind of let's share the story a little bit. Let's back up a little bit and let's kind of share your story on how you got into all of the endeavors. What was your motivation, and can you share some of your goals with us?
sure. I started doing hair, um, 20 me a salon on Crenshaw Boulevard. I grew up in Los Angeles, California, and been doing hair since then. Haven't stopped. That was one of my big breakthroughs for my economic change at such a young age, and I sailed like wildflowers. So went to school, got my license, and when I got out, it was a 30-day fast, which we call Ramadan. After Ramadan, they surprised me with the salon, fully fully furnished and ready. And I used to do Ice Cube's wife's hair, a lot of stars, a lot of the dope dealers' wives and girlfriends. um, and I became, great and famous at it, if you want to say, a star at it. And I've been going ever since. I was kind of scared because I was on Crenshaw and a lot of shootings was happening and gangbanging. I used to be a Crip myself because when you're living in California, it is not easy. You live and grow up in the ghetto, and the ghetto is to me a paradise because we loved one another, we fed one another, and we were just together. But I had to walk from I grew up in the jungle. I had to walk from the jungle to Dorsey High School And in
Mm.
between those 4 or 5 miles I walked, there was gangbangers. And what's up with you? uh, you either finna get raped, or, you got to join a gang to be tough. So I said, okay, well, you ain't gonna mess with me. I got homeboys from the Bloods and the Crips. So I joined, and but I joined for another reason, not because I was lonely. I wasn't getting love at home. It was a place where I can teach, because I always been a healer and a teacher since I was 7. My mother discovered that in me. So in saying that, I was kind of scared to go on Crenshaw to do hair, because I'm like, there's always shootings. But I went and I sailed. It was across the street from a it was called the Total Experience. And everybody came there, from Gap Band, if you don't know, Charlie Wilson, to rappers, to everybody came and performed there. And they would come across the street because they seen the sign, Rame Designs, and we had it. It looked inviting, and they would come in, get their hair done, and everything. So when you start something, believe that it's going to come through. It's going to come through. It's going to happen in a positive and immaculate way. It's going to grow very fast. Um, and believe and have faith, and it will happen. And that's how I started one of my businesses. When I came to Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, I've lived in Canada, I've lived in Jamaica, I lived in Detroit, I lived in New York, Harlem. So I traveled the world because the creator says the world is spacious enough for you to live and survive. If you can't survive one place, pick up and move, like I did. I packed up 15 suitcases, sold everything, gave away some stuff, and my son and my daughter, we moved out here to join my mate, and we've been selling ever since. And it was more economically better for us to live in Atlanta at that time, which was 10 years ago. And so, what I'm saying to the audience is, don't be afraid, people, my babies, my family. I love you guys. Don't be afraid to start over and start anew, start fresh, because starting over means nothing but uphill, positive, uphill. Um, it's not a downhill battle, it's an uphill, success. And I did it, and I know you can do it. And feeding yourself right, all that comes along with it. Greeting people even with a smile. Hi, how are you? Peace, Lord, peace, God, peace, Goddess. How you feel? How you doing? I am a essential worker. I am a caregiver. I am a hairstylist. I sell clothes. I have a black clothing line. I have whatever it is that you're into. Don't be afraid to start over. And that is this time now. We have to start over. And in starting over, you have to have faith. Faith is one of the, I circle that on my vision board. Faith. If you don't have faith, you don't have anything. And it's I wouldn't say easy. It's gonna be, a challenge, but challenge is good. We're not running anymore. No, matter of fact, we're not sprinting, we're running now. And you got to take off running and know that you can do it. There is a will and there is a way. And the creator will guide you, your ancestors will guide you, and your angels that you were born with will help you get through it and protect you.
So let's talk.
I'm waiting on you.
Hey, I'm giving you
Yes.
this time to shine. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about lessons learned. Like, what's some of the greatest lessons that you learned, on this journey thus far that you can share with us as an entrepreneur, as a sister, as a mother, you know, on during this incarnation, just during this period of your life.
Oh yeah. Well, like I said, it wasn't easy. I ran into a couple of bumps and bruised myself, but I got up, healed it, and kept going. There's not you won't get anything without trying. You have to do your best. And mine was in California before I left there. It was like I was working 4 or 5 different gigs. I'm also still doing the same thing, but it was much harder. I didn't enjoy my space of where I was living. Probably 4 hours, 5 hours. I get up for Fajr, do Salat, and get out and get going. But here I'm able to enjoy more life. And Atlanta, as you know, it's at Atlantis. Um, and it's a place where ancestors have walked, bled, shed, cried, um, died, and I feel all of that, and it makes me more powerful. So when you so-called fall, because it's not falling, it's actually just learning. But when you stumble and you feel like, oh, I can't do it as a mother, as a single mother, I just can't do it anymore. Cry it out. Get it out, sisters. Get it out. Cry if you have to for a day. Don't let it be too long, but cry it out. Cry it out to your Lord and figure it out as a God on earth, and you will do it. You will do it. You will prevail. Trust me. I have done it, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful turning of success in your life. And once you do it, it'll become like washing your face, brushing your teeth, bathing. It'll become normal for you that it will prevail. And I became successful and I haven't turned back since. And when it gets hard, because it does still get hard, I just do the same thing. I wash myself with oils. I bathe myself with different oils and lavender that will help me, and build my insides to be able to withstand the outside um, energy vampires that you have. I call myself a Harriet Tubman All-Star. That's the brother I
Mm.
bought the clothes from.
Jeff A. Son,
Can't think
yeah.
of his name right now. I can't. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, Jeff A.
But
Son, yeah.
I call myself Harriet
Athletics, yeah.
Tubman. There you go. There you go.
Mm.
That's who I shop with. And he's at Wadada, again on Ralph David Abernathy, here in West End, Atlanta, Georgia. And, he told me, he said, Sister, you are Harriet Tubman All-Star. And, and that's true. We are, our sisters are young Harriet Tubman All-Stars. She did it. And if you watch the movie Harriet Tubman, and read about her, she when she was on her knees at a time when people told her, no, you can't do this, you can't free the slaves, they're going to kill you. She said, watch me. And one sister said to her, ooh, God been so good to you, you did it. She said, yes, God did it, but these feet did all the work, baby. These feet bore all the scars, baby. These feet ran across those rivers, baby. These feet got me to where I am today. And so I stand on that. These feet that I have, that you have, will run and will get there. You will get there. You will get there. She passed the torch, and we are going to run with it. We are going to keep running with it and do not stop. I don't care what it looked like. If it looks dark, it's light. If it looks light, then go into the dark and come back through with the light. The yellow brick road, like you and I were talking about the other day. We are wizards. Gomar Oz Dubar. Gomar
That's
Oz
right.
Dubar. Gomar Oz Dubar. That stands for a wizard. A wizard is one who surpasses whatever obstacles are out there. We're wizards. We know how to do this because our ancestors did it. So we do it, and we do it better. And to me, continuing about the struggle, um, I call on. I'm a Judas, a Muslim, a, a, a Buddhist, a Jehovah Witness. I'm all of it because there's truth in all of it. And and when you're sprinting and running, or when you're sprinting, you have to start running, because if you don't, life is not going to give you anything. You have to go and get life. Life is belongs to us because we're here now. I didn't think I would be born at this time experiencing this. Although I grew up in the Nation of Islam, I'm an MGT by heart and by mind and by soul and spirit, and I will always be militant and know how to survive that that particular road. And growing up in the nation, it taught us to um, worship no one but Allah, but the creator who created all things. And, and knowing that you are God and God is on earth. We don't worship gods, but we are gods on earth. We are goddesses on earth experiencing this thing called life. And in doing that, you have to remember what our ancestors went through, how they did it, and they prevailed, and now we're here. Oh, I was going to say, our ancestors said there will be those after us that will take us all the way. That's us. That's who they were talking about. Us. And we have to do a miracle, a mysterious miracle thing. And the solution to me is coming together, having meeting places in each state, coming together and making an agenda, not to react to their action. Like in Indianapolis, what they're doing. I went through the Rodney King riots. I was there for that. And it was something to experience that feeling, that feeling of they killed my brother, and he wasn't even my blood brother, but that's my family though. And they killed him wrongfully right in front of our face. They have laws out today to do just that. That's why they're doing it. They're pushing their agenda, but we're not pushing ours. And we need to and must do it. And our agenda is whatever we all collectively come together and come to the agreement on what should do, but never react to their action. Let them all scramble and do, whoever that is, whoever want to be in the lion's mouth and never want to come out, let them all scramble and do that while we sit back, take notes, and not wait on them to do for us, but wait on them to stop the war, the fighting, because it's going to be war, it's going to be bloodshed, and let them do that. And I feel for the ones who are grieving right now, and I ask that they be, touched with healing and love. And man, I know how it hurts. But we can't react to their actions. And their actions is to destroy. That's what they came to earth to do, and they're doing a good job at it. I salute them because they're the biggest devils I know. They're doing a great job at it. And I'm not going to say any one race who's doing it, because evil is in everybody who chooses to be evil. And the mighty, mighty force that we have on our side is the greatest of all, the best of planners. They plot and the creator plans. And the creator's plan is unfolding right now as we speak. And we have to know that. We have to rejoice in that and let no one take that joy and happiness from us. It will get hard. I'm not saying to the single mothers and single fathers, and matter of fact, shout out to single mothers and fathers, but especially our Black men who are fathers in their son's life. That will create a genius within itself, that alone. That's the first seed planted, and that will create geniuses and uh, billionaires and millionaires. When I say billionaires and millionaires, I don't mean, okay, get a Maserati in a home. I mean wealth. We are wealthy by birth. It took
Right.
us, what, millions of seeds to get to that sperm, that one sperm we were fighting through. We was fighting. That egg was, that sperm was fighting to get that one egg. And here we are, brother. Here we are, looking at one another, giving an interview, sharing this love towards one another. And I love you, brother. I love you, Knowledge Born Allah. I always have. And we made it. So that's the same thing. It's the same cycle. The one seed that was born, if you had a million seeds, a million eggs, and one got it, that's the same thing. There's one in a million, you
Break it
know,
down.
and that's true. It's facts. It's facts. We spit nothing but facts right now. And I pray it reach each one. And I pray that they go out and teach one and so on and so forth. And there's nothing to be afraid of. And you could follow me at IG at the Lady Don Don. On Facebook, it's Linda Queen Shahinni Smith. And I also have a page on Facebook, the Lady Don Don. I will help you. Inbox me. I will help you with whatever you need, whatever guidance you need. I will help you to get there, because it's not hard. Like I said, mathematics is life and life is mathematics. We'll
That's
figure it
right.
out, because there's a will and there's a way. You say something?
I said that's right. No, I was just agreeing. Um, I want to hear this Michael Jackson story. You understand what I'm saying? You've been hiding this from me for some time, so I want to hear this Michael Jackson story. How in the world did this happen? You understand what I'm
Okay.
saying? What was that like?
How did a little girl from West Side LA, a Crip, OG Crip, end up at Neverland Valley Ranch in all of their homes for 4 years? We were around them. Well, it started, Chocolate Tie, my mate, my twin flame. He's a singer, a very great singer, and we were introduced to Michael Jackson by Basim, the photographer. He's on IG. And when I first met Mike, okay, this is exciting. Yeah. I'm so happy. This is exciting. When we when we drove out to Santa Barbara, that's where Neverland Valley Ranch was. When we drove out there, we were driving and we're saying to ourselves, this is a miracle. When I was a little girl, I used to dance. My family used to say, come on out here, Shahinni, and dance for us and show us how Michael Jackson did. And I would come and do it. And I said to
Mm,
myself when I would go to sleep at night, yeah, I said to myself when I would go to sleep at night, one day I'll meet Michael Jackson. So
that's
my
right.
twin flame and I got in the car and we started on our way up there. We could have rode in the limousine, but we wanted to drive so that we could stay longer. And driving up there, we went through these black pearly gates that said Neverland Valley Ranch.
Mm.
Went through there, and it was like about 5 more miles to even get to the home, right?
What?
So we're like, wow, we're here, and this is a miracle. And as we entered the door, you have to sign a book of life saying that you've been there.
Hmm.
Michael Jackson comes out and greets, hi, welcome. Welcome to Neverland Valley Ranch. And he looks at me and says, I heard that you were a healer. You know, everybody knows that. And to ask you some questions. But I was totally amazed by his skin. I'm not judging him, but it freaked me out because I remember the Mike, you know, that was Mike. And I was just froze for a minute. And he was like, Queen Shahinni, you know, like, hello. I'm like, oh, yes, you know, yes, yes. I was tongue tied. But he treated us like royal family. And guess
Mm-hmm.
what? He flew an airplane from Paris. He bought our food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner that day from Paris. So that
Hmm.
shows you what's wrong with America's food. Something's going on here. This ain't this ain't adding up. So I'm like, Uncle Joe, I call Joe Jackson, Uncle Joe, why is the plane on the grass? You know, are we going somewhere? He said, oh no. Mike buys all his food from England or Paris. I said, wow. So we're eating vegetables from another state. And the caterers were beautiful. They fixed us beautiful breakfast, lunch, and dinner that day. And that was the first time we met him. We were invited to Neverland Valley Ranch. We didn't meet him prior. We were invited there to meet him and the family. And Jane Kennedy was there with us. Shar
Mm.
Getty from the Gettys. Shar Getty's dad. Who else was there? Um, her husband, um, and Joe Jackson, Shar Getty, and yeah, that sums it up. And Jane Kennedy. So we walked around the home. We was make yourself welcome. So we walked around the home, but you couldn't go upstairs where Mike had disappeared to. And I wanted to go upstairs. So I go down the hall and I'm trying to get upstairs. That's typical Queen Shahinni. She's inspiring. She want to know.
Right.
And I said, nah, let me not do that. I don't want to ruin my stay or my time, being with them. So I came on back down the stairs, but I did go into one room. And this one room, brother, had all the religions in there. He had them set up. Over here was Judaism. Over here was Jehovah Witness, Islam. Now the Islamic corner had a prayer rug right there open. So I'm assuming, well, I'm not assuming because I'm not an ass, but I thought to myself, he's making salat. Okay. He had Christianity right there. He had all the 7 religions in this room. It felt so powerful. I almost, man, peed on myself.
Mm.
I was like, this is amazing. And being a healer and a seer, I promise you, I did not see him doing anything to these children. And matter of fact, in Neverland Valley Ranch, we had a chance to ride all the rides. He was a child in a man's body. I'm not going to say he didn't experience, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Joe Jackson, he didn't experience being a child. What I thought in my, perspective was that during that time, tell them you can't go outside. Here's just get the play. You won't get no whatever. We had to force our children to be great. And I think it's coming back to that now. We have to take the phones, take the computers, take the games, and put it
Mm-hmm.
down. Pick up a book or two or three or four or five or six or seven. Put
Right.
a book in their hand for a week. And um, so that's my perspective on it. It wasn't that Joe was being a bad father, not to me, because in that time, ain't no time to go out and play and hump and do all that. You have to learn because he's seen something in his children, which was greatness, which was greatness. So, you know, um, what was I saying? So, uh, being that Michael had this, farm and all these rides and stuff, I said to myself, okay, he's a child. He wanted to experience that, so he put it on his land. And he had
Right.
two trains. We rode around, and we rode both of the trains. We went through everything. We rode all the rides. We enjoyed ourselves. I was running and playing and flipping and dancing and singing, and I just had a good time. Now, another great point, he made us, before we did all that, we had to go to his theater. He had a theater, and we had to watch every one of Michael Jackson's videos. He was up there monitoring in the booth, on each one. He was the monitor. What? No, he didn't hire nobody to do that day. He was the monitor. And honey, we had popcorn, everything we wanted, and we watched every video he put out. And after that, my twin flame got up and performed. He said, "Okay, now Chocolate Tie, you get up and perform." He sung his you know what off. And Michael said, "You are the future." Michael said, "You are the future. But one thing you don't do," and I want everybody to listen to this who is a performer, a poet, a singer, a MC, do not give your rights away. Keep your name. Because you could
Mm.
be named Chocolate Tie and get signed to Virgin Records, and they, swindle you and put you on the
Right.
shelf. They pay you for whatever, but never put you out. And you don't own your name, Chocolate Tot. That's no longer your name no more. You
Right.
don't own that. So you have to read everything and become your own record label. You're the record label. And
Right.
that's what Michael told us. Those exact same words. And at the time, um, uh, um, the lawyer, Johnny Cochran, was our lawyer at the time. And
Mm.
so when he read, because Chocolate Tie was signed to a production deal with Michael Jackson's company. And when uh, he read Johnny Cochran read everything, he found some flaws and everything, and we brought it back. And Michael said, "I knew you would catch it. I knew you would catch it." And we stayed around them for 4 years or more. We sure did.
Mm.
We had a key to the ranch in Las Vegas. When we would go to Vegas, because we had an excursion truck at the time, and Joe Jackson had a Ford truck that had two gas tanks. So we would kid about that and stuff when we would visit him. So he said, "I know y'all gonna stay out late and y'all gonna do what y'all gotta do in Vegas. Here's a key." We still have that key. We never once went back and did, they trusted us. And I'm so thankful for that. You know, who can say they Chris Brown never even met Michael Jackson and been in his home, uh,
Hmm.
fell asleep on the couch for a nap. We did, brother, and that was the most best experience, I highlight of my life. And I'm writing a book right now, Tell It All by Kween Shahinni. And I'm going to tell when I was a Criplet. I'm going to tell the Michael Jackson story in more detail. We've been in studio with Earth, Wind, and Fire. Um, Matter of fact, they wouldn't even. And this was during the production with Michael Jackson's production company. When we went to Virgin Records, where we would record, mostly Chocolate Tie, and we would, you know, we just man, he treated us royal, like royal that we are. And I appreciate that he's seen that in us, that he did not, overlook that. But of course, he did his investigation about us. So that's why we were able to come, because we were who we are, the goddess and goddesses, and great men and women of the earth. And I will never forget that. And we Jackson, and we would go and party with Joe. Joe had, I'm gonna tell you this, Joe had everything he needed, everything he needed. And it was one time when we went to the ranch in Vegas. This is very sentimental to me saying this. I hope I don't start crying, but he asked me, sitting at the table over some milk and pound cake, he leaned over and said, "Queen Shahinni, tell me this. Why is, some of my family and the world or people, why do they despise me? Why do they say I raised my children wrong?" And I said it earlier in the interview, Knowledge Born a lot. I said, you know, I don't think you did nothing wrong. That's between them and they're going about you. But what I will tell you, and I said it earlier on in the interview, you had to do what you had to do at that time,
That's right.
because there was no time to waste, and you knew who your family was. You knew that they were natural born stars. So you had to do what you had to do. And whoever your Remy's granddaughter, has this thing up with him, spreading bad news about him, and you know, um, and so I told him, I said, look, you did a great thing as a father, and everyone all over the world followed your blueprint, which was teaching our children, sit at that piano, play that piano, put that toy down. And you raised a generation of so-called racists all over the world. We looked to your family. So you did a great thing, Uncle Joe. Do not think that you failed us, the planet, the people. No, don't you do that to yourself. Do you know he started crying?
Hmm.
Tears fell down his eyes, and I started crying. Chocolate Tie started crying. I mean, we cried together and hugged each other. And that's when he gave us the key and said, "I know you guys want to enjoy yourself in Vegas tonight. And you guys, tell the security at the front that, you family, and he'll let you in." And, I'll never forget that time, and all the other times when we used to go to the homes in Encino Valley in California. We were welcome. I remember Janet coming out in her little sweatpants, no makeup, hair pulled back in a ponytail with her cute self. "You guys need any milk? Anything to drink?" And I was like, look at her little sweet self. Just all of them were sweet to us.
Hmm.
And shout out to Basim, the photographer. for introducing us. That's one of our brothers in love. And hey, I had a great ride, and I have more stories to, share with you at another time about some other experiences with great, what I call them angels. Michael he was not meeting him. He not human. He was an
Mm.
angel. Seriously. Um, I'm a for real. I'm for real. He was not like a physical. He was in a body, but what being a seer and a healer, a natural born healer at that. I seen, man. I'm like, this is an angel amongst us. Do we deserve him? Are we giving him what he needs and deserve?
Mm.
You know,
Right.
it was great. You know, and also to sum it up, the uh Bubbles, the monkey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bubbles, he comes over to me in the car. The security had him in the car, and the security guard said, Bubbles wants to say hi to you guys. So I go up to the window. Hey, Bubbles. Bubbles must have tried to attack me. I was like, oh, that's why Michael want to get rid of you.
Mm.
He want to be grown. So Bubbles had became a little aggressive. So that's, if you want to know why, that's why I think he had to get rid of Bubbles. But Bubbles was a good companion, I guess, for him to have as an animal. Yep. And it was a beautiful time being around them for so long. And I was one of the forerunners in California, being a hairstylist. So I had a hair show that I put together in Long Beach, California, where Chocolate Thai is from. And we opened up a beauty salon. We opened up three. That's why I say, do not be scared to reset, restart, and re-up. Re-up, what I mean by re-up is your business. Um, a whole nother business. So this salon, our second salon, was on Artesia Boulevard in Long Beach. Snoop, Nate Dogg, oh man, we can go on and on. Came up there to that salon and visited us, and you know what happened then.
Right.
What went down with Snoop came through the door, but um, we had a salon there, so I had a hair show. And Uncle Joe said, "Why don't I buy up 100 tickets to get you going, and I'll invite the whole family." The whole family came Knowledge Born Alive, except for
Mm.
Janet Jackson. Yeah, Michael and Janet Jackson. The whole family, Tito, Jermaine, all of them came and had front row seats, supported me, little old me, and Kim Fields Kim Fields was the host. Regina King was there.
Mm.
Ooh, I can go on and on. Yeah, man. Yeah, this is reality, real story, real time. Yep. Yep. And some people would say, well, you don't have a lot of followers. If you guys base, if you guys base and get caught up on followers, I was who I was before IG. I was who I was before Facebook. I was who I am before all these internets, uh, base, MySpace and whatever.
Mm.
So if you can't say you was who you was before then, I don't know. But if you go by followers, you are mistakenly wrong, my people. You have to follow someone who can lead you to the right track, you know. And I appreciate you, Knowledge Been Alive, for we've been friends and following each other for years, and I appreciate you. Like I said, I love you, I love you, I love you. My voice is getting hoarse. And I appreciate everything you do for the community as a whole. If no one ever thanked you, I thank you today. Shukran.
Off one. So final thoughts. You got acknowledgement, shout outs. Where can people find you? We got to come back with part two so we could get the artist story. You understand what I'm saying? We done got all of these other stories. Then we need the lady Don story. You see what I'm saying? You and your twin flame could come on together. We could get the lady Don chocolate tie story. You understand what I'm saying? We need all of that.
All right. Yes, you do. And you can find myself on IG at the THA lowercase line lady lowercase line Don lowercase line Don, the lady Don on IG. On Facebook is I have a artist the lead Don, and I have a friend page, Linda Queen Shahinni Smith. Linda Smith is my government name. I was named Queen Shahinni at age 2. And you can find me there, and I can help you with your nutrition, with your healing, and with your hair, with I can keep your grandmother, help your grandfather, any elderly. If you're in the Atlanta area, I'm here in the Atlanta area. Is there anything else we forgot?
Nope, we
I
good. I
think
definitely
that's
thank you
it
for your time.
for
Thank you
now.
for sharing
But to
those
but
that
to
wisdom
close,
and them jewels for that.
oh no, but to close,
Go ahead.
you're welcome, family. But just to close, please, you guys, reset, restart, and re-up on your business. Start a new business. Whatever your passion is, do a vision board, write it down. You got goals. You were born to be great. Like we said earlier, you are one out of a million that got to that sperm. And it's the same thing in real lifetime. You are one out of a million. And we gotta prevail through this. We got to. We cannot fall from this. If we do, it's over.
That's right. So
It's
y'all stay
over.
tuned for
Plant you a
part two.
garden. Part two coming up. Part two. And we love you. We love you, love you. And thank you so much for having me.
All right. Enjoy the rest of y'all evening over there.
I sure will. We'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, family.
All right. Peace.
Peace.